very pleased to have the CEO of MediaBank, a Chicago company, and Bill Wise, who I've known for some time now and have enjoyed getting to know when he was at Yahoo and other places. And to interview him, the CMO of Federated, Pete Spandy. So they're going to come up here and mix it up. Gents, the stage is yours.
But it was not your fault but mine, and it was your heart on the line.
Well, thanks for coming over, Bill. I'm going old school today. I'm doing my notes on an iPad 1. Sorry. So some people in the audience will know your company, some won't. I found you describing your company as the standard operating system for ad buying. So
that
let's
sounds
start
great.
there. Yeah, what does that mean?
Yeah, well, first I think MediaBank is the best and largest ad tech company that you've never heard of. I've been doing ad tech for 15 years, and about 2 years ago I started researching and came across MediaBank, sitting in Chicago doing amazing things, but wasn't really Main Street. So what we're really trying to do is there's been a ton of innovation that's happened in digital marketing. What we're trying to do is apply that same level of innovation to all forms of media. So today we process about $50 billion of media spend through our workflow systems and media buying systems. That's really kind of an operating system if you're a buyer at an agency or a large marketer that does it in-house. And we're really trying to create innovation across out-of-home, across print, across TV, as well as digital. I think the other piece is we're painfully behind where we need to be in digital.
Okay.
So we're trying to catch up.
Let's stick on that note there. So there's a quote that gets thrown around a lot that says that the administration costs for every dollar spent digitally is about 27% versus TV that's about 2%. Let's fast forward a few years, right? You and your company have done a great job. Others have done a great job. What does that number look like? Is there still that disparity? And what causes the disparity if there is one?
Yeah, I mean, we spent a lot of time here. It's amazing to me, having been a digital ad tech guy for 15 years and then going into traditional, I kind of went the other way. It's amazing how much more automated TV buying is versus digital buying. And what it really comes down to is it is so easy. Connectivity is so easy to create in digital marketing through APIs and through technology that what you've ended up with is hundreds of point solutions and nobody really consolidating the market other than Neil Mohan and Google. So when you create that level of fragmentation, it's very easy to get lost in the minutia of all of these point solutions. Whereas in TV, say what you want about Nielsen and their ratings, it's a standard. Right. And it's an industry-wide standard. So I'm not saying we should accept subpar capabilities across the board, but the need for standards is huge in advertising. And that's proven to work in traditional channels. Okay. Particularly TV.
So do you see the efficiency going down 10 points, 15 points in the next few years? I mean, I'm not going to hold you to this, but I'm just...
So you told me.
Yeah.
So I would say someone needs to step up and become a standard, kind of media buying operating system. That's not a principle in the transaction. So I think actually Google's doing all the right things, except for the fact that they're a large publisher as well, and they're acquiring publishers as we speak. So I think there needs to be someone who does exactly what Google's doing, that's not Google, and doesn't own inventory or have a principal position.
So do you feel that do your clients, how do you integrate your solution with Google's? Since in many cases, the technology they're building is at least similar to what you're doing. Yes, that's not a standard, right? By having the two technologies, right?
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's not a standard unless there's two-way communication and openness. So if you're hiding margin, yeah, that's not a solution or a standard. Today we integrate on the digital side. We integrate with all ad servers and rich media companies, and we kind of create workflow around them. within TV, we kind of are the ad server. Within TV, print, and all the other traditional channels. So I mean, it's almost impossible to not integrate with Google solutions. So we will acceptingly.
Okay. Okay. So what portion of your business roughly is real time? And how this whole conference is talking about real time, and there's a ton of excitement and promise there.
Yep.
But my sense is it's still a very small percentage of the pie.
I mean, what percentage of my business is so immaterial it's not even worth the conversation.
Okay.
But I would say industry-wide, if you think about just auction-based media in general and real-time bidding, if digital represents 15% of total ad spend and real-time bidding is 15% of that, then I'm not a math major, but that seems to be 3% of total ad spend is real-time. So I think when I kind of take a look and think about real-time, it's actually less about traditional advertising channels and more leveraging the social web to change the way marketers advertise, which is more of a two-way communication. And actually all the case studies, it seems, today is all about communication. It's not about banners. It's not about ads. It's not about search listings.
Sure.
It's about how do you effectively find your audience and communicate in ways that almost kind of brings ad cost down to zero and makes it kind of professional services fees, if you will.
But that gets us to the point where kind of the innovation and the speed of innovation digitally actually, I think, slows down the ability to create the standards that allow us for the efficiency. How do you see your company playing in that role to create that standard while allowing innovation to continue?
With all of the real-time capabilities, with all of the point solutions that are really kind of intermediary point solutions, what we have not proven as an industry is that value then gets pushed to the principals in the business. We're still sitting with an ad agency who's really trying to who's struggling with their business model, trying to figure out how fees are going to evolve, because again, TV is easy to execute a $1 million plus buy with 2 phone calls and not a lot of paperwork. But to place a $10,000 digital buy has to cover off on 12 different companies and is very unprofitable. So and then on the other end, we haven't proved that real-time capabilities has actually increased yield for publishers. So what's actually happening in the real-time kind of display web is there's margin creation in the middle of the market with intermediaries. I actually contend that those are solutions, not companies, unless there is a standard system by which everyone can interoperate on top of to make it more efficient. So one of 2 things is going to happen. Actually, one of 3 things is going to happen. Everyone's going to just realize it's just way too complicated, and it's much easier just to buy through Google, which I think would be bad. The second piece is a lot of companies, a lot of point solutions are eventually their venture capital funds are going to dry out, and they're going to either be forced to sell or go out of business, or someone's going to create kind of the open ecosystem to interoperate on top of.
Enter MediaOcean.
Well, that's what we're going to try to do, or we're going to be one of those companies that goes out of business.
Got it. Okay. So you have a really unique view, you and your company do, and I'm not going to ask you to betray all sorts of confidences, but you're seeing cross-media spending in a way with 2 of the major holding companies and a number of the kind of the second tier in size, at least, advertising agencies. Where do you see TV fitting in the pie? I mean, we hear all sorts of stories of a great year for TV.
Yep.
Where do you see that going, and how do you rationalize that, given your background and kind of what your company does?
I think the past 2 years has made me realize how ignorant I was over the last 15. Because I was that digital guy who said, see, everything's coming our way, get ready, we're going to put everyone out of business. And the reality is TV has never been stronger. The upfront was very successful. I think the market ranges are anywhere from 9 to 12% up, at a point in which people are kind of turning off the TV, or at least there's huge amounts of fragmentation with with cable programming and more internet usage. So you would think in a world where programming is becoming more fragmented, usage is going down. Normal. You would think common sense wise that spend would go down. It's not. So I mean, it also shows that we on the digital end we have not figured out how to help marketers brand a message. That's what we haven't figured that out yet on the internet, which is what pains me about Yahoo, because they're the ones who should be.
I was
doing
going
that.
to ask you about that. So you're a Yahoo
You like how I worked that
alumnus.
in?
That was really good.
I was waiting.
Yeah.
I was
You beat me to the punch here. So you came to Yahoo through Right Media. Were there for a number of years. Worked on the search deal, I believe, with Microsoft and integration there. You've now been away from Yahoo for a while. What are your thoughts on what if you were back at Yahoo, what would you do?
That's a loaded question, but it's funny. The first person I saw when I came here was Wenda, and every kind of Yahoo alum who still believes is and I think we both said I actually use this. My son has a disability which he to really go off on a tangent. Where he can't really be athletic. I would love my son to be athletic, but he's not. So he's very musically inclined, and he loves to be on stage. And what Yahoo has kind of done is forced their unathletic kid to play sports. They should not be out trying to compete with Google and Microsoft on ad tech. They need to focus on what they're great at and embrace what they're great at, which is being the premier digital content company, the largest digital publisher that has inventory that's marketable for advertisers and their agencies. And anything that veers away from that mission is a distraction. I think if I were running Yahoo, I'd prune 35% of the workforce. I would get rid of anything ancillary. I think someone wrote or someone discussed this morning. Goldman Sachs doesn't own the exchange. They've figured out how to create the most demand on top of the exchange. That's a very fitting kind of.
Got it.
So.
Great. Well, I have all sorts more questions, but we're out of time, unfortunately. We're trying vigorously to keep on track.
Great.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for your thoughts.
Thank you.